1870, the newest ship for the White Star Line would be added. She was built in a contract with Harland and Wolff that still stood until the time of White Star Line's demise. The SS Atlantic could cross the ocean very fast, and was mainly placed on the Liverpool to New York route. The men were placed at the front of the ship, as well as the crew. The women were placed at the back, and in the middle it would be all of the families. They were allowed to mingle during the day, but in the night it was always strict lights out. The real difference between second and third class, to my belief, is that second class had their own cabins and you could order food. Saloon class, or what we know today as first class, was really luxurious. But third class, you were given a daily amount of food, and you had to make do with that. You couldn't order anything, but there was a little water fountain you could get, and it was not common to see fighting in third class. Truly not pleasant. In late March of 1873, the ship departed Liverpool, bound for New York. After stopping along a couple of different destinations along the British coast, she eventually encountered a North American gale. These are not uncommon to see in the North Atlantic, and if you search up Queen Mary 2, you will mostly get videos of it in, well, North Atlantic storms. In one instance, a lifeboat on the forward deck was smashed, despite the fact that they had installed a forward shield that you can see on the ship there, that mainly protected some of the front against big waves. 2 babies were born during the voyage, increasing the ship's number to 16, after 14 more stowaways were also found, which, given the conditions, were not uncommon. Engineer Foxley calculated they did not have enough coal to reach New York, when in reality his habit of underestimating meant they did. The captain decided they should turn to Halifax, Nova Scotia. The approach to Halifax is really dangerous and is not something that any ordinary seafarer can do. As they focus their attention to the port, they don't realize the current has pushed them to the side, meaning that they are focusing their attention to the wrong way.
But seconds later, the ship crashes hard into a large, partially submerged rock called Golden Rule Rock. Everyone, including the captain, is thrown awake. The ship, having been traveling at nearly 12 knots, slams to a sudden halt as it lodges itself onto an underwater part of the rock. The sudden stopping causes all of the air inside the ship to suddenly shift due to its own momentum, snuffing out every single oil lamp on board.
In the chaos, many people were trampled inside third class. On top of that, it was also chaotic because a lifeboat drill was halted due to the conditions in the North Atlantic. With water flooding the ship at an alarming rate, she tips over on her side and rests on another small rock. After one survivor gets back to shore and alerts a neighboring village, they are hesitant because it is April 1st, April Fool's Day, and so they think it's all just a big joke. But they go over there and they figure out that a line has been drawn to the rock that they hit, and therefore everyone is waiting for rescue on the rock, with some people even offering rewards if they went out to the Atlantic's wreck. One woman who was tied to a mast in order to keep her from drowning had to end up being abandoned because the man was not able to untie her. In the end, the mast collapsed and she was taken down to the sea. During the chaos, people blow out the windows and a child is pulled out. He is the only woman or children to have survived the sinking of the SS Atlantic. In the following days, people dynamite the wreck of the SS Atlantic, hoping to find bodies and also valuable loot. In the end, only a little bit of the ship remains underwater. And now the fun part begins. Who was to blame? In my opinion, it was Foxley who was to blame. Wrong picture, but yeah. Foxley underestimated the coal supply because it was at odds with the fuel consumption he had ordered, and if he had given wrong readings, he could have lost his job. And so to him, his job was more important than the safety of those on board, and he knew of the dangers of the approach to Halifax. Meanwhile, the rest of them did not. The SS Atlantic only has a small bit remaining, and the SS Atlantic Heritage Museum is also trying to preserve the story of the SS Atlantic. I encourage you to have your own discussions in the comments to discuss, like, what happened, who was to blame, and I also encourage you to go watch the Titanic and Honor and Glory animation, which this video took a lot of footage from. Sorry, Titanic, Honor and Glory. Hope all the drama on your channel gets fixed. This video was posted on April 1st, 2021. No, it is not April Fool's. It is the anniversary of the sinking of the SS Atlantic. This video is in tribute to all who died, including the fact that no women survived the disaster.